Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shot.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And it is a Thursday here inside the SWBC podcast studio. It is Eagles week, and there are football players on the football field as we speak. Time to get fired up for
Eagle week.
We hate Philly.
For Mike McCarthy's birthday on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
We got another birthday celebration on a game day. Last month, it was Jerry Jones' birthday. That did not go well when the Detroit Lions came to town.
That did not go well. I thought we were all going to be
So now we try again with the Philadelphia Eagles on Mike McCarthy's 61st birthday.
When you're 3-5, the percentages work
That's
with you.
right. Not with us.
And so here we are, ready to tackle these Philadelphia Eagles.
Bring them on. Let's go.
I like the pun.
And not very many people have been able to tackle Saquon Barkley this season. You know he's on pace for like a 2,000-yard season?
Really? You mean just from scrimmage?
No.
He's got nearly 1,000 yards rushing, and they've played 8 games.
That's crazy. They figured it out, man. They figured it out. You got to stick to the plan, baby.
Mickey's going to the stat sheet.
You got to stick to the plan as a team.
It's coming off
a
a
plan.
925 yards in – they're 8 games, right?
8 games.
6 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
157 attempts, so that means he's averaging a skosh below 6 a game. 6 a carry, I'm sorry. 6 touchdowns, too. But he doesn't lead the team in rushing touchdowns.
How many yards was that again?
925 divided by 157, and it comes to 5.9 a carry.
How about that? See, 6 yards a carry. But it was 925?
Yes.
Okay, so he's averaging 115.6 yards a game.
Okay. So if you multiply
times 17.
Just multiply it by
So
2.
he is on pace for 1,965 yards rushing this season.
Because if it was a 16-game season, he's
you could just double
there.
it.
You double it, and it's 1,850 plus one more game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if he happens to get a couple big games, 2,000's not out of the question.
Well, once he got to 1965, they'll probably keep him in to get the final 35
So
yards.
let me ask you guys the question I just got asked because I didn't have a really good answer for it. What do the Cowboys have to do to stop Saquon Barkley?
He is injury prone in his career.
I told him.
Wow.
I told him.
So wait, you're saying we hope he gets injured?
No,
that's basically what you're saying.
What I'm saying is he might have been doing this earlier in his career, but he always seems to get hurt.
Yeah.
I was more
That's
gracious.
true.
I said hijack the bus on the way to the stadium. I mean, they are who they are, right? And they're not all of a sudden going to have some magical scheme to shut him down. So you just got to hope you can keep him to a reasonable amount of yards.
The only thing that can help you in games like this, when you haven't shown anything all season in regards to stopping someone, you hope that you could somehow match up well. You hope that some individual matchups can help you minimize what would otherwise be bigger plays.
Or maybe get a lead and they get out of their running game.
Well,
and you're going to start a backup quarterback.
Right. So we probably won't do that with a backup quarterback. So just the only hope you have is matchups. Maybe one guy might have such a good game.
Against an offensive lineman or something.
Yeah, but it just might be his day. So it's by hook or crook, That's about all I can say.
So Baltimore, Derrick Henry, they've played 9 games. And Derrick Henry leads the league in rushing.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
With 1,052. But that's with one more game than what Barkley's played.
Interesting.
So actually, divided by 9, he's averaging 116.9 yards a carry. So it's almost exactly the same average per game.
Boy, it's nice to play quarterback behind that.
So Henry is on a pace to rush for 1,987 yards in a 17-game season. Barkley is on a pace for 1,966. So Henry's slightly ahead of the pace of Barkley.
And how about this one? Gibbs, Detroit, got 656 yards, so he's 8th, but he's got the leading average per carry at 6.4. Henry's 6.3 and Barkley's 5.9. 6'4".
Now do us.
Well, I got to go down here to Rico Dowdle.
That's not cool, man.
He's got 321 yards, but he's averaging 4.5 a carry. How about that?
Who?
Rico.
Wow, nice.
That's better than Pollard last year.
So give him the ball.
Might as well.
He only had 12 carries for 75 yards the last game.
The problem is
Had 6.5 yards a carry. He was on that same pace, 6.5 yards a carry, but they only gave it to him 12 times.
he's only had 71 carries.
He was doing good work last game. Really good work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's tough to bring down once you give him some space. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a good game plan in regards to getting him the ball on the long handoffs, left and right,
and yet
just give him a chance to just split the seams.
And yet, when you need a yard, he couldn't get a yard, and it wasn't because of him.
No.
It was
Garrison.
Yeah.
What?
He's going back to the old Dandy Don
line
about Walt Garrison.
I got it.
If you need 3, he'll get you 3. If you need
10, he'll get you 3.
But my point, before I was rudely interrupted, is that it takes more than just the running back. And which I think, I still contend that Mike McCarthy was just as upset about the 3rd and 1 stuffing of Rico, which was the play before the 4th and 1 jet sweep.
When did he smash the tablet? After the 4th down?
It was in the break after, so we don't know that he was looking at.
Like he could have done it.
He could have been looking at the 3rd down play.
They came back and showed it.
It was on a replay.
4th down.
You think it was the 4th down play that he got his?
Because I think they would have made reference to it.
No, I don't. They don't know. We're all just speculating.
Yeah,
what he was looking at.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the 4th down.
They were pretty egregious.
Yeah, but the 4th down was so ugly.
Have you gone back and looked at the 3rd down?
Yeah, I saw the 3rd down. We talked about this. I think when he just kept losing and losing and losing.
See, it just looked like on the 3rd down. On the 3rd down play, it was Grady Jarrett. He is almost like Grady Jarrett. It appears he was either shifting or he was jumping the snap. And so either he read what was about to happen but then Tyler Smith blocked away from him, and so Tyler Guyton has got a reach block basically on him.
And Olsen was saying he never should have left Tyler. I'm sorry, he never should have left.
Right, so that's where I'm wondering if it was a miscommunication, where they also have to read what the defense is showing them when they're communicating who they're blocking.
It was so simple. I mean,
right,
it was a simple blocking
and it should have been. Yeah.
Crazy.
And just the body language of Tyler Smith after it was, okay, who am I blocking? You know.
Yeah.
How about this
after the play got blown up?
An obscure stat: 3rd and 1 rushing leaders.
How do we rank there?
There's 18 guys that are tied for 1st because they've gotten every one of their attempts. The most is Jones. Oh, Giants quarterback.
Oh, Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones. He's 7 for 7.
What about Jalen? It's got to be Jalen.
They're not. The tush push isn't working without Kelsey there.
Not as well.
Yeah. And then they're going to other plays.
He's got to be in there. But he's maybe not part of the 18. Is that what he said?
He's
18?
10 of 13.
Not bad. Jalen or Daniel?
Jalen. Hurts.
Yeah,
No.
You expect that. I mean,
Daniel.
you expect better, actually.
So you got 7 for 7, 6 for
Kelsey
6,
there.
4 for 4, 3 for 3, which is also Zeke. No, Zeke's 2 for 2. Lipke's 2 for 2. And Cooper Rush is 2 for 2.
One of the problems so how many?
18 guys.
But how many opportunities have the Cowboys had?
Oh, it just shows the run. I got the running backs. Just the running backs.
Okay, so the running backs.
Okay, so Elliott's 2 for 2, Lipke's 2 for 2. That's 4 for 4, and Rush is 2 for 2. That's 6 for 6.
Okay, so they on 31 where they tried to run
and
it.
Rico's 2 for 3.
That was the one was last week.
8 for 9.
Wow.
So okay.
Got to get to 3rd and 1.
That's the issue. That's what I was about to say. So the Cowboys have played 8 games, and they've only run the ball on 3rd and 1 9 times.
9 times, yeah.
So once a game, basically, they're running. So you need to get to 3rd and 1. The problem is 1st and 2nd down.
Or they've been so good on 1st and 2nd, they don't get to 3rd and 1.
3rd down, exactly.
I don't think that's what it is.
I didn't realize they kept that stat.
Yeah, what a
I was
odd
just
stat.
looking at it.
They keep stats of everything.
Yeah. All right. That's
All right.
insignificant.
So tell me what we
do you
need to
wanna
know from the Mike McCarthy press conference today. One thing I can tell you is that Jonathan Mingo is going to be on the practice field today.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
he's wearing number 81 for those of you who keep track of that.
And so they wouldn't bring him in for just a practice player at this time, right? He's on.
No, he's on the 53.
He's on the 53.
They gave up a 4th-round draft pick for
Yeah.
him, so he's on this roster.
Heck, I want to see him on the field Sunday.
Andrew Booth is on the practice squad now.
Really? Not
They
ours.
re-signed
him to
They
the
did?
practice squad. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they need players.
Can't be
So they
choosy right
needed-
now. We can't be choosy right now.
They
Spags.
needed a roster spot for Mingo, and so he was the bottom guy on the roster, and so they got through and waivers. And
Is that
now
okay with you? Because you seemed a little
he's
upset.
on the practice squad.
Yeah, that-
I don't think
Practice
it's not
squads are
surprising
right.
at all. I
He's a
assume they were
second-year player. You never know when the light might go off.
or come on.
I meant, yeah, come on. It's been off.
Yeah, it has.
So what else you got from?
So he was non-committal on Dak's injury that got reported last night, that he has a partial avulsion of his right hamstring, which means there's a small tear or separation of the hamstring tendon from the bone, which sounds pretty significant, even if it's partial, right? I was reading up about how they treat this, and one way is you can have surgery to reattach the tendon, or you can initially rest, and it was called a RICE treatment. Rest, ice, compression, elevation.
Oh, okay.
To try to
It's cute.
to cure it, and it would be several weeks. So it's not a 1-week injury. It may be a 4-week injury, but really, I mean, if you, he doesn't. It's like everybody. Well, you got to go on IR. Well, he doesn't. He could just be an inactive player on.
And that way you can save some moves.
And you don't. Right? Yeah, like who are you going to bring on to take his place? Right.
When you look at that injury, when I hear about that injury, is it comparable to T.O.'s injury when he played in the Super Bowl?
I can't remember his.
His was.
I thought his was a hamstring. I thought his was an ankle.
I don't know.
Well, it was an ankle here when he tried to play in the playoff game.
Yeah.
Against the Giants in 2007.
Yeah. This is when he started the. I don't know if it's a cryogenic thing, but that's when they started the treatment.
He fractured his fibula and tore a ligament in his ankle, a combination that typically demands extensive recovery time.
And he was going into hyperbaric chamber.
That was 6 weeks.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I said cryogenic, yeah.
Yeah, you.
And so, but that ankle aspect of it, that muscle, that I was wondering if that was the same thing.
Pulled away from the bone.
You're right.
So anyway,
I'm trying to compare it to another player.
So Mike basically didn't answer it. He basically said that we're still doing tests and trying to figure out the right form of treatment going forward.
The last thing you want is surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then he's done for the season.
Well, I mean, just
okay,
overall.
one thing about the surgery, and I know this is not your favorite guy to cite on Mick Shots, but I did listen to the Pro Football Doc on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he said there are different types of surgeries.
Right.
And so we don't know what kind of surgery it would be, but there is a surgery that can be performed for what he was describing. He, in his medical experience, that he thinks this is what he's dealing with.
Is he a real doctor?
He is. He was a Chargers team doctor back in the
Previous.
day. Yeah.
Not current.
But so now.
And from afar.
Yeah,
But anyway.
so he's from afar. So all of that being said.
What?
But
How
all.
can you be go ahead.
So he'll look at videos and say, this is what it looks like, that injury.
Oh, but he didn't do that when he worked with the Chargers.
No.
No, but he's doing it. No, I'm saying he's doing it now. It's not like he's got. It's not like he's got X-rays.
They were scrimping on
Right,
money.
exactly. They sent him a video.
I know you live in Atlanta, but can you look at this injury?
Right.
Well, that's what we're dealing with now.
Well, now,
right.
yes.
But anyway, what he did say, what I did get out of it is, because all the reports are, well, if he has surgery, is it done for the year? He says that the surgery that he likely would be taking, it would probably put him out 6 weeks.
Okay.
So now
we're-
6 weeks takes you to week 16, and so takes you to Christmas, and
You have a chance to play 1 or 2 more games.
and it depends where the team is in the standings.
It
at
would
that
definitely have to depend on where the team is.
Yeah.
We're not just going to throw him out there just so he can get numbers.
Especially after you paid him so much money, right?
And that would seem that would be the case just because you're paying him so much money, though. Hey, we're going to make sure that you play. I hope that's not the attitude we're talking about.
So what do you?
If we don't have a chance.
What do you think this revelation did for the idiot on FS1?
Who was that?
I hate to even say his name because now I know he's on FS1. James Jones, when he found out that Dak, the former wide receiver for Green Bay.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even remember that guy.
Well, I would like
I
to.
don't. Yeah.
People need not to remember.
Okay,
Right?
I didn't know about this.
So
guy.
when he heard Jerry say that he's got a hamstring strain and it could be multiple weeks, he said Dak Prescott quit on his team.
What?
Quit on his team. I've played through hamstring strains.
Oh,
and
stop.
It doesn't take.
Stop.
You put some ice on it and go forward.
Stop. He can't. He did not say that.
Yes, he did.
Come on, man.
And not only did he say it, obviously you got to tweet out whatever you say,
come on,
right?
Bro. That's stupid.
So now they said that he apologized and finished his apology with Godspeed to Dak. And I'm going, don't be pulling that crap.
And I'm sure Dak sent back a middle finger emoji.
See, and I've had people tell me this, that were in charge of broadcasters and everything. I wouldn't have an analyst do a game unless they're a former player. Mm-hmm. Well, just because you're a former player doesn't mean you know everything.
Well, and not only that.
And nothing against you.
No, it's not.
If you think of what Everson does and what Nate does, they find out what's going on before they form an opinion. This guy goes off half-cocked, and that's why, to me, it's dangerous to put all these guys on just because they played. And at some point, I mean, it's irresponsible to do that stuff.
Late on the. Did we do the Mick rant anymore?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And then when you do that,
I think we've lost it.
There's
I don't think I hadn't heard it.
There's no repercussion either, right?
Well,
and so I told the guys in the radio. I remember when I was working at the paper in Columbia, Missouri, a guy that I knew was running a Mexican restaurant, and he got accused of sexual assault. Front page, big headlines, right? A week later, they found out it was bogus. Metro section, about 8-point type. The case has been dropped. But once you do that, right? Everybody sees it right away and reacts.
And no one saw the other one.
And the retraction,
right.
no big deal, right? So you gotta. I don't know.
Well, here's what you have with
just be responsible.
The risk you have with former players, and you see it with the podcasts and things of that nature. That's why I try and be as accurate as possible. That's why I like Bill fact checks a lot of the stuff that we talk about, so that I won't just be out here rambling about something. And it's it's how I remember.
I got your back.
Totally was not how it was. Sometimes he'll correct me.
Got your back.
You have players. Some have this vendetta, and they want to air that out. And there are times when they might spout some things, or it may be coming from a place of envy.
Right.
It might be coming from a place of
making a name for themselves.
Yeah, trying to do, and also some get back. Let's case in point. You've got a lot of players out there, and it's always been the thing. I think it mostly started with Randy Moss. The Cowboys should have drafted me.
Right.
And because they did not draft me, when I played, every time I played them, then I made sure and made them pay for it. That's started with Randy, and you've got a lot of players out there who were not nearly as good as Randy Moss, who have that same beef with the Cowboys or another team or a coach that might be still in the game. So then when you give your remarks, this former player is usually going to be something unusually stingy, right? Something unusually sharp that really shouldn't be out there, because you still have this vendetta that's in your head against a particular player, against a particular coach or organization. And so I think Dak Prescott and the Cowboys themselves have been a victim of that now with these former players on TV. All of them are like, the Cowboys are uppity, and they've got this nose up attitude about everything that we do, and it's their job as former players to shoot that down. And not just former players, of course, we know another particular guy, but it wasn't a player, who came in here and joined us one day,
who's trying to make a career out of it.
Well, I mean, and he is.
Yeah.
And so that gives them, in their eyes, validity, but not necessarily here, and it may not necessarily be accurate. But that sentiment goes up to the producer as well, because they know that that's a moneymaker. They know that all these players that have these vendettas against the Cowboys, that's good print, and it's good air.
Go look at former Redskins, and they're former Redskins, okay? They're not Commanders.
No, they're Redskins.
And they had vendettas all the time.
Yeah.
The guys that got a microphone.
Oh, and not to mention some Philadelphia Eagle former players as well.
Right.
All of them want to outdo the Cowboys. All of them want to show the Cowboys, gotcha. We're getting back at you right now. And that's true stuff. That's true stuff. For us to be the topic of so many sketches or edits is ridiculous, to where, like, I think they just, like you say, they just fired Dennis Allen, the coach for the Saints. Well, that wasn't the lead deal. The lead deal was, do the Cowboys suck enough right now?
Right.
I mean, they came out with that. The coach just got fired. But the Cowboys are the lead deal, because the producers know that's going to bring you listeners. That's going to bring you ears.
Eyeballs.
And eyes and ears, yeah.
Yep.
Just the way it is.
I know.
And that's where having a former player doesn't always mean that you're going to have accuracy. Sometimes you're just going to have envy.
Okay.
Well said.
Very good.
I'm glad he said it. I didn't have to keep
facts.
going on.
No, that's facts.
All right, we continue with more Mick Shots in a moment.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, Crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry. Even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Back to Mick Shots.
Support military members, veterans, and their families with the 2024 Salute to Service collection. From camo pattern hoodies and hats to gear proudly showing off the Dallas Cowboys star alongside the Stars and Stripes. This collection is more than just football. Visit a Dallas Cowboys pro shop near you or log on to shopdallas.com. Well, shop.dallascowboys.com, a fanatics experience, and join our mission.
Them dots in
them dots and .coms and shop dot. That's what gets you, the shop dots.
All right, did you cover everything from the Mike McCarthy press conference today?
We didn't cover anything.
Oh, okay. That's where we started, and then we went off.
Yeah, we went off.
Well, I had one more, too, by the way.
The rant started some stuff.
After we found out what happened with Dak trying to run the football.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Go ahead, all you guys out there, you wanted him to run more. Well, he ran more.
And I don't think it was by choice.
No, that was a scramble.
Right, he was hauling ass.
But the other ones were runs, right? He had 3 carries for 30 yards. And the last one was basically he was running out of the pocket and he got sacked, right?
I can't recall. Forgive me. Is that the same leg as the broken ankle?
Oh, you would ask that.
Because the broken ankle was left.
I was thinking it was left.
Yeah, broken ankle was left, wasn't it?
Because he got yanked down by that. What do you call it?
This way.
We had a 50-50 chance of getting it right, and he had surgery. It was his right ankle.
Right. Yeah. See, that's why I said it was this way. As I thought about it, it was this way because this way brought him down this way as he was trying to go that way.
It was like the wrap your legs
around.
So then,
what hamstring is?
This is right.
See that stuff. You
think
has
it
consequences.
Precipitates?
It does. It does. No doubt about it. It's no doubt about it. Oh, Amber alert. Sorry.
Yeah, we both got it at the same time.
I'm not getting those. Why do I don't get Amber alerts?
That might be because they're looking for you.
You're not helping society out.
No, they're looking for you. You might be a suspect. They don't want you to know.
All right, so, and I'm just confirming, I had to wait for Wi-Fi to kick in here, and it was his right ankle.
Okay.
And so his right hamstring now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely related.
So what you're saying is one
injury Dr. Walls
can weaken everything else.
I'm telling you, man, that stuff happens.
Check with the guy in San Diego.
You're right. Yeah, he laughs at me, but he's listening to San Diego guy.
I didn't realize you got your medical degree from rambling.
I'm just saying, usually when you have something that happened off in there, then the rest of your leg has to compensate for that injury, which is never going to fully be healed. Mm-hmm. It's never going to fully be healed. That muscle that surrounded that ankle will never be the same. It will never be as strong as it should have been otherwise. So I'm thinking that, as I like the word, it precipitated this hamstring injury.
I like that. Okay, what else you got?
So it was a pretty extensive injury report yesterday between.
Yes, it was. There were 9 starters, 9 Cowboys starters, 7 of them with Pro Bowl experience that were either limited or missing in practice
in action.
yesterday.
Right. He gave an update on CD, who practiced on a limited basis. He said he had a good day, and they expect him to be out there
How's
again.
the move? Did they talk about the movement?
He didn't give any specifics, but he said he practiced. So I guess if the wide receiver's practicing, he's got to be able to catch the ball. He said Micah had a good day, and he said that he should be out there again today. So he was limited, but he did take part in some of the team reps. He said he talked to him this morning, and it sounded like he didn't have any repercussions from the activity. So it sounds like good for those guys. Let's see, the other limited guy was, did you call it? You didn't call it up, did you? Oh, I forgot to print it out. Hang on, I had the limited. Oh, I guess I didn't write it on this page. There were 4 guys that were limited, and all of them sounded like they would be able to play. And they didn't put rest next to Zach Martin or Eric Kendricks, but I think that they felt like that today would be the most important
I
day.
apologize for not listening to you, so I'm going to run down the whole stuff. All the limited guys were Diggs with a calf, Guyton with a neck and shoulder, CD shoulder, Micah ankle.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
So which one did you miss?
Guyton.
And Bland?
Bland's
is a DNP. Still rehabbing, and he's going to continue
foot.
to rehab today.
And still maybe?
I don't think it's a maybe if he's not practicing.
Kendricks
today.
did not participate with a shoulder. And Zach Martin, shoulder, DNP, Dak, of course, Wanye Thomas, concussion,
And he's
Nick
probably
Vigil,
out this
foot.
week. And Nick Vigil, that foot just keeps getting in the way.
And then the other one is Brandon Cooks, who is on IR, so he's not on the injury report.
Right, and he's not ready to practice. Not this week, so maybe next week.
Dang, man.
That's a lot, right?
That's crazy, man.
So they could, and that goes to show you on the infection thing. You know, we don't.
Yeah.
It's rare that you see a player out with an infection, a knee infection, coming off a surgery like that. So you don't know what to anticipate, how long.
Well, it wasn't a surgery; it was a shot. A shot.
Yeah,
injection.
That's right. Yeah,
injection.
And so you don't know how long someone's out with that, and turns out he's going to be. It's going to be a 5th week now at least.
I hate to bring it up because he always gets on me, but when I had my infection, I was out for 2 weeks.
I'm not getting on you today, Scott.
Okay.
I'll let you run with that.
That's serious stuff.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Especially when you're taking an IV to antibiotics. It's serious.
How unlucky is this? Just for him alone, for Brandon.
And now the quarterback. So both wide receivers are banged up, the top 2 guys, right?
And Philadelphia's are too.
And they are. Mm-hmm. Brown was on the injury report. I think.
He was limited.
Yeah.
And then Devontae Smith, who was out with a hamstring yesterday.
It's a violent game.
It is.
And it seems like, I don't know if it's more violent or just you haven't played enough football that a lot of this stuff crops up with injuries.
I'd love to have somebody come along and do some type of a study on then versus now. I just don't remember so many injuries from players when we played. And we weren't as dedicated in the offseason as these guys are. I mean, they stay in shape year-round. And is that too much? Do they wear their bodies down? And, yes, they talk about fewer practices, but that should be a plus.
Because you're not susceptible to get hurt in practice as much. And that's why it is the way it is.
Yeah.
But then now you're playing football that you're not used to that
That's the other part
action in the game.
That's the other part of it. And I don't know if that would have made a difference back then. Maybe it would have. I don't know. But when it came to covering one-on-one or playing a wide receiver, after you play have so many practices, that stuff just becomes second nature. You know, I mean, you could get out of bed and do it, But I don't know, something about how things are run at this time, do the lack of practices help or do they hurt? And that's kind of where we are right now.
And then there's different rules as far as using injured reserve now, to where you got more guys that go on injured reserve because they can come back in 4 weeks. And back in the day, you're on injured reserve, you're out for the season. And then also the money involved in it, where you're not, because you have such a financial investment in a player, you don't want to risk a further injury, so you hold them out for another week just to make sure they're
so
right.
They may not necessarily be. They may have the same knick-knack injuries that we had to play through.
You had to play through it.
They don't.
And rosters are larger now. You also have the practice squad that you can play with, as far as expanding the roster.
But you don't want to do something like that with a star player and, tinker around with that kind of stuff because you want him on the field.
Right.
So you could probably say that with marginal players,
right,
as opposed to superstars.
But also because of the gambling, it's more publicized now. All the injuries. Back then, it wasn't publicized,
right?
Because of course there was no gambling going on.
No, absolutely not.
You were ready for that one.
Well, but think about it. Back then, they had instituted this type of injured reserve because they could put a guy on for 4 weeks and then they could come off. What happened was it got abused that they were putting guys on there with false injuries just to stash them to keep their rights.
But if you're talking about having players available, you're not going to be messing around with that. If you need players, your core players available.
Oh, yeah.
So
I don't mean...
You do it for...
I mean guys that you're going to cut.
Well, the other part of it is you didn't have it. One of the reasons you only had a 40-man roster, you didn't have enough money to have other players, excess players, that you could just fly in.
Let's be real.
Think how much money is spent on players just flying in for workouts across the country,
Hey, don't fuss about that because Jimmy Johnson brought in 1989, Jimmy Johnson and the Cowboys airline budget had to be big.
Brought them in on Monday, worked them out on Tuesday,
unless they brought
Wednesday,
them in on a shuttle or something.
Started on Sunday and cut them on Monday.
Man, I've never seen so many guys, man, that came in and just left, and some stayed. Man, I've never seen that before.
It was a cute term, but it was accurate, the revolving door, right?
So how many of the players on the 1989 roster, week in, week out, when you go in the locker room, how many of those players would you know their name? What percentage? Say there's 50 guys.
I used to know all my teammates' names. But to not know their names, how would you not know their names? And everything started to change gradually.
Well, and think the way the locker room was arranged at Valley Ranch initially in those quadrants.
Yeah.
So you didn't hang around with quadrant 3 when you were in quadrant 1.
You got a rotating, and so
we did have ghetto row.
Yeah.
So like in this locker room or an NFL locker room right now, where you've got all these practice squad players, you got to get injured. There's 75 players walking around here.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there players on teams that don't know the names of all the players on their teammates?
I would imagine it is now.
I bet a couple of guys that are on the practice squad, because the majority of them are in that back locker room. I bet they don't know.
That reminds me of Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson, the baseball player.
Of course.
And he didn't know any of his teammates' names. He was with the New York Mets, and Al Leiter took him around with a TV camera, and because the teammates were talking amongst themselves. Ricky don't know my name.
Right.
I mean, what?
And he was older at the time.
Al
with
Leiter,
the Mets, right?
Al Leiter takes him with it. He got one of the TV cameras and took put his arm around Ricky and brought him up to teammates and say, "Okay, what's his name?" "Oh, don't mess with Ricky. Don't mess with Ricky."
But Ricky, at that time, he was at the end of his career, right?
Yeah.
With the Mets.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Of course he's not going to remember some of those guys. Everybody knows Ricky, though.
Yeah.
That's what matters. Everybody knows Ricky.
And then at the end of his career, he was with Seattle, and John Olerud was with the Mets. He's a teammate with him in the Mets, and then he was in Seattle. And Olerud wore a batting helmet when he played in the field, okay, because of, I guess, concussion, whatever. And so Ricky sees him and goes, man, I played with a guy in New York who also wore a batting helmet.
It was him?
And it was the same. It was Olerud.
He didn't recognize. He must not have left a better impression than just the helmet.
This reminds me of, since you said Ricky, Missouri had a basketball player, Ricky Frazier.
I remember I called his games with Stepanovich and Curtis Berry and John Sunvold and those guys.
Ricky
out of Texas?
No, he was at Missouri. Missouri. When I was in school at OU, Ricky Frazier played for Missouri.
And
we beat y'all.
He was a first-round draft choice of the Chicago Bulls, but they were in the tournament, and they were going to play Notre Dame. Notre Dame's big guy at that time was Kelly Tripucka.
Mm-hmm.
He was All-American,
of course,
one of the leading
man.
scorers.
Yeah, man.
So they're in the locker room before the game, and Norm Stewart says, Ricky, you got Tripucka. And Ricky goes, who he? It's like, oh, just give him a number, right? And he was so good. The guy had the greatest shooting touch ever, right? But yeah, who he?
He was good. He was good.
Yeah.
But they went in.
How far did y'all go?
I think they got beat by Notre Dame.
Hey, I got an old cassette tape of mine. They were ranked 4th in the country.
Yeah.
They came into Norman, Oklahoma to play Billy Tubbs' Oklahoma Sooners, and they got their butts beat by a 9-21
and he
team.
kept that cassette.
Yeah, that's right.
He kept the cassette.
I still got it. As we prepare for an OU Missouri football matchup on Saturday. The trash talking has begun.
Yes, but I'm talking about.
Continue with Mick Shots in a moment.
Not until I find out who the starting quarterback is.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cowboys Nation, it's time to get the giving season going. Tune in to see country music superstar Lainey Wilson and a special guest perform during the Salvation Army's annual Red Kettle Kickoff halftime show this Thanksgiving on Fox. Every donation stays in the community to provide help and hope for those in need. So tune in to watch the Cowboys, Giants, and Lainey Wilson this Thanksgiving And give today at salvationarmyusa.org.
Okay, Everson is not going to be with us tomorrow, so Everson, here in the last couple of minutes of the show, we need to get your take on what the Cowboys need to do to beat the Eagles on Sunday.
Cowboys need to match up well against the Eagles this Sunday.
Do they match up well?
You know, there needs to be just one individual that can make things happen. One individual that can just screw up your entire game plan, which is kind of what happened with the Cowboys against the Falcons last week. If you can get everyone else to maintain, and I would say this, the game plan, when you have a team like this, the game plan is extremely important. This is where the coaches get paid to really make the magic happen. This is your moment right here. Make sure that you put your players in the best position, and then you hope for that one player to come out and have one of his best games. That's the only chance we have to win this game. It's going to have to happen in the running game in regards to our defense. We have to have good run defense, and I think if we do that, we have a chance to win the game.
Actually, Mike, when he was asked about it, he said, we definitely got to play strong inside, meaning stopping the run.
Of course.
And did we talk about this on Monday? The first play that Atlanta ran with Bijan Robinson, it was the exact same thing that Will diagrammed for you, illustrating for the TV show.
Wow.
That cutback run.
Yep.
He was showing how he's fast, but he's quick enough, Bijan, to cut to the right and see the backside cut. And you got to be aware of it.
And the Cowboys were well prepared to stop that, too.
Right.
He only got 9 yards on that play.
First play. The first play was exactly what he was talking about.
If we could just keep them inconsistent in their running game, and I thought we did a decent job against the Falcons' rushing game alone. If we can keep our opposition inconsistent in their running game, we have a chance. You have to give yourself a chance, and you can't have Derrick Henry running all over the place.
Or as NFL Network likes showing Saquon jumping somebody from behind backwards.
Come on, man. But if you can just minimize the damage that their running game will do against our rushing defense,
So you think if you limit Barkley to his average of 116 yards a game?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say his average.
Okay.
I did not say.
Well, that would be a lot better than what they did against Henry, right?
No doubt.
But Bijan didn't get 100.
He did not.
Nope, he got 86, and then he got another 59 through the year.
That was the problem.
The 59 that were.
I mean, when you think about it, the Cowboys still had a chance to win that game. I'm sorry. They had a chance to win that game. And they can do the same thing against Philly because Philly's offense is not as explosive as what we've seen in the past.
Okay, and this is off topic. We don't have time to get into it, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. I was just thinking about this. Okay, the Cowboys are facing Barkley this week, and he was like the second pick in the draft. Okay, and the Eagles, you would say he's been a pretty fine addition to this Eagles team.
Yeah.
Okay. Last week, Bijan Robinson. Okay. That offense was centered around Bijan Robinson last week, and he was the 8th pick in the draft. Okay. The previous week, San Francisco, okay, their guy's hurt, but he's coming back maybe this week. Christian McCaffrey was the 8th pick in the draft. Okay. The previous week, it was Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions, and he was like the 13th pick in the draft. Yeah. So what's this talk about? You can't draft a running back in the top half of the first round.
Isn't that crazy?
You just have to.
You got four straight teams here that are playing the.
You just have to draft the right running back.
I'm gonna tell you something, and Bill knows what I'm talking about. After watching OU and the Big 8 back in the day, watching
Billy Sims
running backs was the most amazing thing for me when I was young. Just, the way guys, my dad was a running back, the way he would say to give him the leg and take it away. Just the normal things that running backs do. I just always thought that was so fun watching football when the running game was more prominent than the passing game.
But I mentioned Billy Sims, and there is a poster child for why you don't take a running back with the first or second pick in the draft, because he got hurt and he wasn't able to do anything. And that's the knock against taking the running back.
Yeah, but then you
Todd
look
Gurley,
at his career, though. You look at
no,
Billy
but it's
Sims' career.
not his NFL career, because he got hurt
NFL
early on. He would have been a Hall of Fame running back, but he got hurt.
Well, he ran over us in Dallas. That I recall. I recall an 80-something yard touchdown pass that he called over D.D. Lewis. So come on, I was there.
Ran over us in Columbia.
See?
Oh, yeah, that was in college. Boy, that was it. That may have been his greatest game ever. He had back-to-back games against Missouri and Nebraska. And
I wrote my whole story after that game, I think, if I remember correctly which one it was, all about him.
And Billy did play, okay, to your point.
Yeah.
Billy did play from 1980 to 84.
I'm telling you.
And had 5,106 yards in his career.
And it looked prettier than anybody else. First-round draft pick. Mm-hmm. You got him for 4 years. Mm-hmm. 5 years if you pick up the fifth-year option. Mm-hmm. And so you got your 5 years out of him. You know, you just got to understand when you take a running back, that second contract may not come to fruition. Well, we didn't say anything about Tony Dorsett, so
that's right.
Yeah.
All right.
that kills all of that conversation.
And there's a whole bunch of others like that too.
Yes, it is.
One of them was at SMU the other day. Eric Dickerson.
No, don't
Pony
even.
Express.
Stop,
Pony Express was there.
Stop. La. He kills me.
Yeah, but how about SMU's playing now?
Watch out. They're going to make that playoffs.
That's right.
And all the guys are from the Dallas area.
That's right.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love
That's right. All right. That does it for Mick Shots, and some of us will shout at you again tomorrow at noon.
Go Cowboys till Monday.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!